Liverpool 1, RB Leipzig 0. Another victory, another win. A record equaling victory for Slot as well. The first Liverpool manager since the late, great Bill Shankly to win his first three Champions League games on the bounce for Liverpool Football Club. A big night for Manchester City. Haaland with one of the most outrageous goals you will see this season in the competition. More than just a tap-in merchant, as many toaster people always have to say. Fantastic from him. 44 Champions League goals in 42 games. I think tonight he overtook Neymar and went level with Drogba. But by the end of this season, he's likely to overtake some legends, and we'll get into that. Harry Kane and Bayern Munich spanked. Absolutely spanked. His arse cheeks will be red tonight. I can't believe how bad they got beat up tonight. I know Barcelona looked good this year, but it's a very weird game, and we're going to delve into all of that on the Football Terrace this evening. Make sure you are hitting the like button. Make sure you are subscribing as well. Someone here says Leipzig 2 goals disallowed. Yes, because they were offside, so they are not goals. Atletico got beat 3-1 by Lille at home. Young boys almost got a draw out of Inter Milan, a last-minute winner. I didn't watch the game, but I saw the scores. So Mo has got to come on here and hold that because, again, you should not be taking that long. The league table looks amazing in the Champions League as well. I was looking at it just before I came out here, and I was looking at the league stage right now, looking at the table. And this is crazy reading right now. Nobody would have put Villa top, but they are. Villa top, Liverpool second, Manchester City third, 3 English teams in the top 3. Arsenal now, because Inter got that win, Arsenal, the other English side, dropped to 9th in the table, but on 7 points. But everybody from City down to Arsenal in 9th are on 7 points. Only two teams with maximum points. And that is, of course, Liverpool Football Club. And look, it's been a great start, really, overall for the English teams in this competition. I don't think anybody can or will try to deny that, personally. I think it's been an excellent start, a very, very, very good start for the English sides in this tournament thus far. But as ever, I want to get everybody's thoughts. I want to get everybody's feelings. I want to get everybody's opinions on these games and these results tonight. What also surprises, Brest got a point tonight. Brest got a point at home against Bayer Leverkusen. What a fantastic start they have had to this Champions League campaign. And looking at the teams that are sitting in the kind of a place to fall out the competition, the 10 teams in there. Milan on 3 points, Club Brugge on 3, Atletico Madrid on 3. Awful start for them. PSV Eindhoven on 2. You have Bologna and Shakhtar Donetsk on 1 point. And then Leipzig, 3 losses out of 3 for them. Nobody would have predicted that. You've got Storm Graz on no points. Team's name I can't pronounce on no points. That's probably because it's written in a foreign language here, and I'm not too sure what it says. Salzburg down there. Young Boys on no points as well. And Bratislava down there as well. You look at Brest on 7 points. They're probably going to have enough to make the top 24 now. They're going to pick up some more points you would expect. Sporting Lisbon inside the top 9. And then some, you've got to look at Bayern Munich now. Bayern Munich are sitting down in 23rd place on 3 points. Such an interesting read. Now, we're not quite halfway through yet. Everything could change in the next. But, if Villa and Liverpool and City, Inter, Arsenal win their next game, you're starting to think to yourselves that they're very likely, unless a massive collapse, going to make it through to the next round. But very, very interesting indeed. I want to start off tonight, though, by talking about Liverpool. Liverpool look deadly. They're worrying me. I'm jealous. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. And even when they have a few very small bozo moments, Kelleher pulls them out of it. Or there's a great last-ditch tackle. So even when they make mistakes, they have the structure, so somebody in a covering position, or the quality, i.e. the goalkeeper, to pull them out of that mire. This Liverpool team, it's really interesting. I was listening to the build-up to the game. I was listening to Arne Slot talking, and he was talking about, and I thought he spoke wonderfully, not treading on Jurgen Klopp's toes or legacy, but essentially alluding to the players needed a new voice, the players needed a refresh, but these players are amazing. He also said this is not a new style of football, it's just a new voice, and basically alluding to a few subtle changes, which again goes to prove the point that Liverpool are not in a rebuild as a football club. It's one top-class head coach replacing another, and it's a continuation of the same project. English clubs have got to get into the mindset is that's how we're set up now. I think most Liverpool fans get and understand this. But watching Liverpool tonight, I thought if they'd have conceded late on, it would have been a bit of a robbery. They were by far the better team. How Liverpool didn't get a penalty in the first half is beyond me. I don't care if the ball might have run out of play. That's a foul on Darwin Núñez. I cannot believe VAR did not overturn that ridiculous on-field decision. It was so poor. Absolutely shocking, in my opinion, from VAR. And I know some Liverpool fans may not be blown away with how Liverpool are performing and playing. The winning goal, games by 1 goal or by 2 clear goals. They're not blowing teams away. This is not heavy metal football. But I've got a sobering thought. And you've got to understand that I'm looking at this from the perspective as a Man United fan, not a Liverpool supporter. You look so controlled, so calm for large parts of every game I've seen you in. And you've had tests this year. People are lying when they say, well, what have the tests been? Okay, you haven't gone away to Man City or Arsenal yet. One of those games happens this weekend. But you've gone away to RB Leipzig, which is a tough place to go. You've gone away to Milan. You've played Chelsea. You've gone away to Manchester United. When you think, how old is the season? 8 league games, 3 Champions League games, 1 League Cup. So we're talking the season is 11, 12 games old. And in 1/3 of your games, you've been tested. This narrative that Liverpool haven't been tested is a lie. And I hate defending Liverpool as a Man United fan. That's what I do. It's who I am. I know a lot of people don't like it, but you know the honest truth? I couldn't give a monkey's. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less if you like it or not. Well, actually, no, I do care if you like it. Thanks for watching. If you don't like it, just don't watch the Football Terrace. It literally will not change your life if you don't watch it. So why are you here? Well, back to Liverpool. I just thought they were excellent again tonight. I thought they were unlucky not to score a couple more goals. There was a great move in the second half when McAllister hits the crossbar. I thought the goal they scored, look, it was probably going to go in from Mo Salah's head, but I actually think Darwin Núñez did the right thing by tapping it in. Can you imagine he leaves it and it hits the post and it comes out and the goalie picks it up? Can you imagine the stick he would have got? You've got to put that in that scenario. Maybe if you're 2-3-0 up, it's the last minute, maybe you let Mo Salah get his goal. But Darwin Núñez got the goal. They were unlucky not to score more, but it is the control. It is it feels like ease. I'm watching the Liverpool game. It's the one I'm meant to be most focused on. And I find myself drifting to this screen to watch Barcelona, Bayern Munich. I find myself looking at the City game. I'm checking the results in the other matches. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm meant to be watching Liverpool. And every now and then there'd be a little mistake. I'm thinking, Leipzig are going to score. Konate shuts it down. Van Dijk shuts it down. Oh, Kelleher saves it. Of course he does. And I'll tell you who else I want to shout out tonight in the Liverpool team, who I criticized him for this for many years, partly because I meant it and partly because it was fun winding up Husam. Those 2 reasons. But I thought Trent Alexander-Arnold had another fantastic night defensively. And there was one moment in particular where Xavi Simon went to drive at him. And he did this a number of times, but went to drive at him. It was about 60 minutes. There'd just been a save from Benjamin Sesko. And Trent just went, nah, bruv. He just stamped his authority down. He put his foot down with a firm hand, won the ball back with ease, and then he just looked a different player. He looks a completely different player defensively. And it needs to be shouted out because when he was poor defensively, we called it out. And I think he's doing a fantastic job at the moment. Defensively, the whole team just looks almost impenetrable. And as I say, even when there is the occasional little mistake, they have what I call the morning after pill of football. And that's those defenders and that goalkeeper that can just save you right at the death. Morning after pill football, I tell you. But look, Liverpool worrying. Liverpool are scary. Liverpool are dangerous. And I still think this is just the beginning. I think, I spoke last year about Arsenal. I'll keep the same energy. I think as we go into the second half of the season, I think you'll see the intensity ramp up. You see the intensity in fits and starts in the game. Slow. Balls move quickly, score a goal or make a chance. And then just go back to being slow for 10, 15 minutes. What you will find this will do, whether the players are told this ahead of time or whether it's just held back by the management, this is the way of reserving energy for the course of the season. And you look at Liverpool's approach under Klopp, and they won the league once, and they were very unlucky not to win it on another occasion. But sometimes it wasn't the game management per se, but it was you start off at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Did they have the legs to go the full course all the time? And I think these subtle differences that Slotter's bringing into this brilliant squad that Liverpool, FSG, and Klopp built, I think could pay dividends. And slowly but surely, I talk about the Premier League, you're becoming the favourites to win it. 3 wins from 3 in the Champions League, just 1 goal conceded in this tournament is crazy. By the way, the English teams in general, Villa have conceded no goals, City have conceded no goals, Arsenal have conceded no goals, Liverpool conceded just 1. Now, I'm not getting ahead of myself because an English team might not win it. But so far, the English teams in the Champions League, and I'm just talking results here, goals scored, goals not conceded, probably the 3 most important stats, not conceding, scoring and winning games, right? Pretty important. The English teams are dominating. And who would have thought that Monaco, Brest, Villa, even Sporting would be in the top right now? Such an interesting start to this campaign. So well done to Liverpool. Excellent. Man City, look, a relatively easy game for you guys tonight. Not surprised that you won, but I want to talk about Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is maybe one of the most disrespected players in football. Tapping merchant, League One level football player. What a load of old bollocks. Sorry to call it out, but it's a load of old bullshit. This man is elite. 44, I repeat, for everyone not listening in the back, 44 Champions League goals in 42 games. And I remember when I said how good he was years ago. Now, this isn't about me saying I was right and you were wrong. I'm telling you what someone said. I remember somebody, I don't remember who this was. It was somebody on my panel said he's the Nordic Lukaku. He's not even as good as him. I want to give you a list of players, okay, that in the last few goals he scored, he surpassed in the Champions League. Del Piero, Aguero, Griezmann, Puskas, Cavani, Muller. He's gone ahead of Kane. He's now got, Kane scored tonight. He's now got 10 more goals in the Champions League than Kane. Morientes, Robin. All these players he's passed recently. Etu. Now, he's on level on goals now with Mo Salah. No, I'm a liar. He's 1 behind Mo Salah. Mo Salah has played 81 games in this competition. This young man played 42. In my opinion, this season, he's going to surpass Drogba. He's going to go past Salah. He's going to probably go past Inzaghi, Eusebio, Zlatan, Shevchenko. Mbappe's on 49s. He'll probably score some more, so he might not catch him. And then you've got, of course, the legendary Stefano, and probably Henry, who's on 50 goals. I wouldn't be surprised. He's going to end up in the top 10 goal scorers in Champions League history this season, okay? And he's going to do it in record-breaking time. In fairness, Stefano, as I mentioned, had 49 goals in 58 Champions League games. His record, goals per game record, is phenomenal. His goals per game record is more than 1 goal per game. To put that into context, look how good Ronaldo and Messi were, and Lewandowski in this competition. They averaged 0.79 goals each per game. This guy's scoring 0.21 more goals per game, and he's younger. If you look at their record at like Haaland's age, it was like 0.5, 0.6, maybe even lower. It's ridiculous what this man is doing. The respect we are, you know what? We always talk about these great strikers of the past. R9s, Eto's, Zlatans, Henry's, Rooney's, Ruud van Nistelrooy's, and rightfully so. We should talk about them. But we should feel blessed. We should feel lucky. We should feel privileged that we are watching football in the Erling Haaland era. Okay? I'm not saying he has the skills of all of those players or the passing ability of a Rooney. The goal scoring levels of this man, just on the Champions League level, has never been done before. At his age, after 42 games, what he is doing has never been done. Not in anybody that's alive's lifetime. Not that anybody remembers who's alive. Maybe if you're really, really old, proper old, okay? But you're not watching this show, most likely. This man, the word phenom isn't even accurate enough. This man is an absolute joke. And I mean that in a positive way. He really, really is. So well done to him tonight. And the flying backheel, what a tap-in. What a tap-in from him. And before we do some super chats and I bring out my panel, I just want to say, Harry Kane, Bayern Munich, you took one hell of a beating tonight. You took one hell of a paste. It was really weird, right? They scored almost straight away. Rafinha, great goal. And then for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, Bayern Munich were amazing. A goal disallowed for offside. Then Kane equalised. And I just thought, Barca are in trouble here, aren't they? Barca are in a little bit of trouble. They scored early, but Bayern Munich have been a better team. And then they had 60% of the ball for the rest of the game, but they did nothing with it. It was friend zone football. Rafinha completed a hat trick. And Hansi Flick, what a job he's doing. What a job this man is doing this season. Fantastic win for Barcelona. And listen, they started off this campaign, I think, winning 9-2. A defeat to Villa, now a defeat to Barcelona. I still think they'll make at least a playoff element of this. Next game for Bayern Munich is whom? Let's have a little look here who the next game is. Well, Liverpool by Leverkusen next is a big one, all in the top 8. Bayern Munich, Benfica. They should be winning that at home. So you would expect them to win that at home. Or Inter Milan, Arsenal comes next. This is a real good one because they're both struggling. PSG versus Atletico Madrid. Sparta Prague versus Brest. Imagine Brest win that and end up on 10 points after 4 games. That'd be crazy. What other biggies are there? There's loads coming up. Going to be so much fun, this Champions League. Sporting Lisbon City, both in the top 8. So 2 very good performing teams at the minute. Going to be amazing. But yes, Kane, Bayern, all of you lot, you got battered tonight. You really, really, honestly, it was like watching Spurs. It was so funny. I hope Mo will keep the same energy for Inter as for Arsenal, because in the list of dog shit teams, Young Boys is on it. Yeah, look, I don't know where he is right now. Him and Husam have the link. They should be backstage. They haven't arrived yet, but Mo's got to come and answer for his crimes. Yes, everybody, make sure you hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Please get that done for us. Very, very important to the terrace that like buttons are hit. First time watching Yamal, number of nutmegs in one game, incredible skills, genius. Yeah, he looked great tonight. There's so many good young talent out there. And look, they went through periods. Look, Bayern Munich are a good team. All jokes aside, there is quality there. And it was a real test of 2 powerhouses going up against each other. And they just grew into the game. And they got to a point, and it was interesting watching Barcelona do this. They were a few times they got caught out, but as the longer the game went on, the more comfortable they were not having the ball. And it's weird seeing Barca play like that. But yeah, they did very, very well indeed. How much would I pay for Yamal? I'll give him a blank check. Debbie says, I was so scared. Wow, we took that 8-2 personally. Yeah, well, I think Bayern Munich were looking at, they were trying to get, was it their 7th straight win on the bounce against Barca tonight, Debs? And you lot slapped them silly. It's not just Trent who's improved. Kanate on the ball has improved massively. I hate to say, even Shimikas has shown improvement. Slot has done well. Look, I think that this is system-based. Better the system, the better the players perform. Football has never been different from that, by the way. We try and pretend it's different. It hasn't been. Listen, this is not a dig at Klopp. He admitted himself. He lost his mojo. He lost his energy. No wonder people started to fall off last season. Evening, Terry. Good win for Liverpool, winning first 3 games. If they beat Leverkusen. That'd be their first 4 games if they beat Leverkusen. When Real Madrid come to Anfield, not a must-win game. And that's what's really key about the start Liverpool have had. You go and beat Bayer Leverkusen in your next game. You won't want to lose to Real Madrid, but you'll be in such a strong commanding position. You're absolutely spot on, Dinesh. Sorry, you're a City fan, I think I can see there. But yes, they'll be in a better position. This, we haven't played anyone, is a bad argument. Listen, we see these arguments all the time when people are not happy with the club. The reason I push back against them isn't because I'm glazing Liverpool, or I'm a secret Arsenal fan, or I really love Chelsea. It's because I just don't want to hear that narrative when my team becomes good again. But the problem is, and I've said this for years, and it's always unanswered by the toaster people. And I call the toaster people my trolls because I wouldn't trust them to use a toaster. Tom Little's backstage, to be fair. I wouldn't trust him with the toaster if you saw he's cooking. But it's like, I want to make sure I say this in the right way. I don't want to sit here when Man United become good again, if it ever happens, and I know the jokes are probably going on in the live chat, and start defending Man United against bad analysis or bad returns. And everybody says, but you joined in when it was about Arsenal. You joined in when it was about Liverpool. You joined in when it was about Chelsea. The reason for that is I was the first person ever, really, there might have been a few people that did it before me that I'm not aware of, to start a multi-club channel in this way. And my reason for doing it was I grew up in the East End of London, where there was dozens of different teams supported in my school. And then when I went to work, it was the same scenario. It was in the South. And whenever you were in the staff room, whether you're in the playground, whether you're with friends, it was about everybody talking about each other's teams. And I wanted to replicate that on YouTube. And so far, touching wood, I think we've done a pretty good job here at the Terrace. But for me to be the host and the anchor, I can't be shrouded in bias. I can't stick these terrible arguments to Liverpool, to City, to Chelsea, if I don't believe in them, of course. And then when it comes to my club, do the opposite. It would ruin the channel. People wouldn't come back. And I'll be honest with you, and I know that it's been a bit of a taboo subject, but I do want views. And I'll let you into a secret. I do want views. Every single person who makes a YouTube video wants it to be seen. I'm sorry to break it to some of you. Everyone who tweets wants it to be seen. Everyone who posts on TikTok wants it to be seen. It's a public platform. So yes, I want people to be intrigued to watch my videos, enjoy my videos, and come back. And I've always felt the best way of doing that is to be as unbiased as possible. You might not always agree with my opinions, but I think most of you, Terry Tibbs, you've been watching me for about 7-8 years as a Liverpool fan. You know where I'm coming from. So there we go. Thank you, mate. The problem is Haaland is too dependent on excellence of others to do well. But I don't think that's true, is it? Because this goal scoring record in the Champions League, he was doing it when he was at Salzburg. He was doing it. In fact, his goal scoring record at Bayern Munich in the Champions League, Dortmund, was better than it is at City in terms of goals per game ratio. So he's been scoring at this rate forever at lesser teams. So that, for me, argument falls short. You see that? Disclaimer, I'm biased. Hansi Flick, perfect example to prove that there is someone that could have done better than Arteta at Arsenal. Yamal and Rafinha, best in the world at the moment. So I think it's a fair shout. We could have had Flick when Potter got sacked, is what Chelsea fan here, Dyke says. Lewandowski missed a sitter. Haaland could never. Big up, Terry. W for me as a Barca fan. Big up yourself, Omar. Hope you're well, brother. Bear here says, watching Barcelona over the last couple of weeks, seeing what he is doing with these young players is exactly why I wanted Flick at Chelsea so much. Listen, I know a lot of United fans that wanted him. There was Gooners that wanted him. And I think he's always been... Do you know what? I think a lot of managers that do well at Bayern Munich, people often doubt them because they think it's the structure of the club that gets them through. And there is an element of truth in that because it provides the players, it provides the quality and the money, but you still got to be a very, very good head coach. And I think he's proven himself no end at the moment. Panel time now. None of the City fans have turned up. I'm not too sure why, but they're not here. Mo isn't here either. He's probably still crying, but there we go. But we've got Ram, we've got G, we've got Tom, we've got Husam, we've got and Sam as well. Welcome. Tom Little, another victory for Liverpool.
I know, we're a bit good at this football thing, aren't we? We're a little bit good at this little thing we call football. 11 wins out of 12. best start to a season ever for Liverpool, which is ridiculous in the first 12 games of having a new manager. I thought from about the 15th minute to the end of the first half, unbelievable performance. We penned them in. They couldn't get out. We should have had a pen. We did score. We forced Golaski into a number of good saves. Second half, we eased off a bit, which is what we have done a lot this season. Again, didn't give up any big chances or any big chances that were onside. So another good day at the office, and Leipzig are no screw. You know, that the challenger right at the top of the Bundesliga. They've been a decent side in Europe for a number of years now. They've got players that can hurt teams, and we made them look average for 80 minutes of that game. For 80 minutes of that game, we made them look average, and then final 10 minutes, he started trying to get into it a little bit more. Outside of that, superb. But the defense, the defense is the big thing. Last year, it was costing us too much. This year, we've played 12 games. We've kept 7 clean sheets, and we have a 6.9 XG conceded, which is a joke. We're not giving up chances, and that means that when you have games like today where because we created a number of chances today and we didn't take them. Golaski made a number of good saves off of Nunes, Van Dijk, Gakpo. You know, we missed one or two. But what it means is that even when we're not burying those chances, we're fine, we're good, because we're not giving it up. We're not worried about them catching us, and then all of a sudden we're chasing a game with 5 minutes to go because we've been caught out with a lapse in concentration. So I've got all the confidence in the world that we can keep this going. Massive game on the weekend against Arsenal. Going into that game with as much confidence as you can take. You know, they've got a couple of injury problems. We seem pretty okay. We don't know what it's like with Jota, but Nunes, I think, has earned a start in that game with his off-the-ball work and stuff. So I'm pretty confident going into the weekend. I think we can go to the Emirates and go get all 3 points. And today just proved that more.
Listen, I think you certainly should feel confident, especially with the players that they have out and, through suspensions and injuries. And it's the control, as you say. I think that I can understand how it may be a bit boring at times, considering how you kind of used to play. But when I watch you, I find it almost Man City level annoying, where it's like, they're not losing the ball. It's so calm. It's so collected. And then when you are making a few little mistakes, some fucker saves you.
I mean, Kelleher has brilliant. Kelleher has been brilliant for a number of years. If there was ever a reason more for Arne Slot to hate Nottingham Forest, it's that bid they put in on deadline day of £7 million plus Matt Turner. That might be one of the worst bids we've seen for a player in a long time. Queeving Kelleher, brilliant again, great with his feet, number of good saves. But again, like you said, it's to control the games. Last year, we would have not won that game. We might have scored a second, but we definitely wouldn't have won that game because we would have given up too many chances. And that moment where it was that 5 to 10 minute spell in the 80th minute where it was just pressure. The defense bent, it didn't break, it held strong, and then we rode that wave out. They were demoralised, and we played out the rest of the game, and that's massive to me. If you want to win titles, you've got to be hard to beat, and we are at the minute. We're so hard to beat at the minute. That's why we've won 11 out of 12, and it's such an impressive start. And once against today, I thought Slot made the right changes at the right points. So I've got no complaints with anyone on that team. Even Simicast had a good game, and that takes a lot for me to say.
I just want to respond to Bash. Hope you're well, bro. He says, Terry, how comes Liverpool 1-0 is good, but Inter is bad? Firstly, it was a bit of a joke towards Mo. I didn't actually watch the Inter game, so I don't know how good or bad they or anybody else played. It's just a little bit of a joke because obviously the way he went in on Arsenal yesterday and said, when you're playing these really poor teams, you should be smashing them. It was just a bit of a joke. It wasn't serious. I'm sorry. I know you're Bash. You're a good guy. You're a good guy. You'll get that now. Yeah, but it was just me trying to wind up Mo. I thought it was coming on the show, but rumor, I'm just hearing he's crying in the toilet somewhere. So he's still crying. And he doesn't want to show his face. G, talk to me, brother.
Nah, man, that was comfortable. That was probably the most comfortable 1-0 that you'll find in a long time. Very, very long time. we did have our moments. I think the only thing, everything Tom said, the only thing I disagree with is the substitutions. We lost our rhythm when they happened. That's when RB Leipzig started to get more into the game towards the back end. Yeah, like those subs. Yeah. That was when I thought, oh, this is where Liverpool are going to start to potentially concede. But outside of that, first, Tom said it right there. After the first 15 minutes, RB Leipzig were on top. They were finding spaces. They were getting in. But then after that, it was just Liverpool the whole game. Like it was just comfortable, man. Like it was a little bit. To be fair, it is a little bit boring to watch because you're starting to get to that point where you're like, you don't look like losing. If you do concede, it is going to be a mistake or whatever. And as they said it already, it's you got Kelleher, who is a decent goalkeeper, decent backup. He obviously did his thing today. I thought he was man of the match, to be honest. Like he saved us in a couple of moments in the game. Nunes, listen, I'll give the guy a stick every week, but he was good today. Well, he's good in the first half anyway. Do you know what I mean? Got his goal. Typical striker's goal. You know what I mean? Strikers will probably love them type of goals. Do you know what I mean? Where you're just nicking it right at the end there, get your tally up regardless. But I'll be honest, man. Liverpool 11 out of 12, and we don't really look like losing games at this moment in time. Obviously, that could change Sunday. Don't know. But at this moment in time, as of today, we've won 11 out of 12. I don't know many teams who have done that this season. Do you know what I mean? 11 games. So
Liverpool, according to Tom, have never ever done it.
Yeah, we haven't.
So
this is the point. This is the point.
And I think you always have to look at those types of records. They don't tell you everything, but the fact that no Liverpool manager, no Liverpool team has ever won 11 of their opening 12 games to a league season. When I hear Gary Neville, and this is what I mean by calling out what I call poor punditry. When I did it about Arsenal, everyone glazing Arsenal. I'll do it for Liverpool, and people just they go, yeah, real good, Tell. But it's like, oh, no one thinks Liverpool got any chance of winning it. How are you ignoring a record like winning your first 11 games out of 12 that they've never done in their club's history? I don't see how you could ignore that, and your result is no one sees them doing anything really. You don't even have to say they're gonna win it, but the idea that it's impossible, I can't compute that in my mind personally.
I think that's more. I think you know what it is. That's more peak. Well, rivals, I don't know. That's just hating. But Liverpool fans, like myself, to be fair, it's just more PTSD. You know what I mean? Like we've been here. We've been here before. This ain't new. Well, in terms of playing well at the beginning of a season, not winning 11 out of 12. But I mean, we've been here in positions where we've been top of the league before. We've been 5 points clear. We've been 3 points clear. We've been 6 points, whatever. It's happened. And then come the end of the season, we've only got one Premier League title in 33 years. So where we've been in this kind of position before, that's where the PTSD will always come into. And let's be real, that's understandable. I get it. When you've got Manchester City, who are the best team, in the Premier League, of course you're going to think like that because we know what they're about. But you're right that even I can't even dismiss Liverpool at this point because we're just not losing games. Obviously, like I said, that can change on the weekend. I'm not saying it's inconceivable that we lose on Sunday. Of course it's not. Arsenal, a good team. But right now, as of today, 11 out of 12, let's be real. Liverpool look like probably the one of, if not the strongest team in the Premier League, alongside potentially a Manchester City and, potential others, man.
I hear you on that. Husam, talk to me. Another win, another solid performance, not blowing teams away, but just winning in style. How impressed are you right now with this team today and in general?
I mean, I disagree with Tom and G, to be honest with you. More so Tom, because he loves to do revisionism on Jurgen Klopp. I mean, we were literally top of the league last season in March, never mind in October, destroying teams left, right, and center. Only game we lost was the Spurs robbery. So we were very good as well last season. So let's not disrespect the greatest modern era Liverpool manager we've seen to prop up the new guy. Look, I think today we were a bit too defensive. As much as clean sheets are amazing and we didn't concede a goal, I love that. But I feel like we went too defensive too soon. Leipzig were there for the taking. I think we win this game under Jurgen Klopp. We win it probably 4-0 instead of 1-0.
3-1.
Possibly 4-1. Possibly
3-1.
4.
3-1.
Yeah,
It
possibly
was always
4-1.
3-1 last season. It was always 3-1.
Yeah, but anyway, regardless, I think we went defensive too soon. We went way too defensive, way too soon. I think Leipzig were there for the taking. We could have scored, goals today. And Gakpo's shot in the 88th minute, where he kind of dribbled past someone and shot. I'm like, bro, like we could have really won this game. Could have slapped up Leipzig, sent a message. I'm not upset because obviously we won. There is no reason for me to be upset. But I feel like we went defensive way too soon. We took off Trent for Gomez, which is a defensive substitution. Took off Robertson, took off Tsimikas for Robertson, took off Mo, took off Nunez, who I thought were our two best forwards. I feel like we went a bit too early. We went a bit too early, too defensive. That's the thing that and it's not like we're playing with all due respect to Leipzig, of course. It's not like we're playing a tough opposition. I think we could have slapped them up even today. G is 100% right regarding our rhythm. I feel like as soon as we took off Mo, our rhythm just fell off a little bit. And Nunez as well. We have to give credit today. He was very good. When those two came off, the rhythm went. I'm loving McAllister and Gravenberg. Szoboszlai, I think that my eyeballs fall off anytime he's in the final third, because I don't think there is any explaining how your number 10 is probably the worst footballer technically on the whole pitch, including Kelleher. Every time we're in the final third and we need Szoboszlai to make a good pass, good delivery, something like that, he's just not capable of doing it. And he himself said it publicly. This is not a Husam is negative. Szoboszlai said it publicly himself. He said you should get more GA. Arne Slot said it publicly about Szoboszlai, should get more GA. But 9 points from 9, so there is nothing to complain about. The only thing about today's performance is I just felt like we just did it too early. That's it. So that's the only criticism. I just wish we waited just 10 more minutes, get the second first, ice the game up, and then you could go a bit more defensive. Because I felt like Leipzig were there for the taking. Our offside trap is amazing. We caught Openda offside about 4 different times. And every time he was like a yard offside minimum. So that's a good thing for us. But yeah, I'm very happy we won the game. 9 points from 9. And this sets us up nicely for the game this Sunday.
I mean, I think you're being quite harsh there, Husam. I think Leipzig are a team that deserve a lot of respect going forward, and part of the reason why I think we were defensive in nature was because of the threat they posed on the break and in transition. I mean, even they didn't score today, but that Openda had 2 offside goals, which if we're not more structured, he could have timed his run better. The situation could have been different. Their attack looked bad today because we nullified them. And I'm not knocking what Jurgen Klopp achieved at the football club. I'm not trying to do that. I'm looking at the cold hard.
You are, because you said we wouldn't have won the game.
I don't think we would have last year. And my basic numbers are this.
Same exact game today.
This same exact game today. I think we can see that. Husam.
Every time we attacked, Leipzig's defense were trembling. Come on now.
Yes, but our defense looks so solid because of the way that we play. You're banking on no, because Husam, your point, it's very easy. Your point is this: we would kill them attacking wise last year on the Jurgen Klopp. I agree. I'd create more chances. We'd also miss more chances. Golaski had a hell of a game today. He had a hell of a game today. On another day with the keeper that's not playing a blinder, we win 3-0 anyway. My point is, I would rather we win 1-0 and not try and not concede, because last year I felt that the defence let us down in a number of competitions. Do you know how many games it took us to get 7 clean sheets last season in all competitions?
I don't know, and that doesn't matter anyway.
22. 22.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Tom.
No, but you can't have both.
All I said was we went defensive too early. That's it.
But we went defensive.
Which minute did Joe Gomez and the 3 subs come on? Which minute? Was it 65th?
70th, I think.
Yeah, but that's way too early against Leipzig.
Because you asked for another 10 minutes, which then would mean that we're keeping Trent on and Nunez on. Bear in mind, we haven't even got a striker backup. We're keeping both of them on for an extra 10 minutes. I understand why Arne Slot done what he done. There's no need to leave them on if you're comfortable in the game and you've got a massive game coming up at the weekend. That's why
we won the game, so it worked. That's why I'm saying I'm not complaining. I'm just saying we did it too early. That's it. So that's all I'm saying. Like I feel like we could have scored the second and the third and destroyed them, but I'm glad we won. Obviously, I'm very happy we won, and the clean sheet is very good because this builds up defensive. Like what you're saying regarding the defending, I'm not against, Tom. I'm just saying we did it a bit too early.
Was Slot just not planning for the upcoming game in the Prem?
100%. That today was like one of the first times I've seen him take Salah off, especially that early, because he knows what's coming up at the weekend. Massive game at the weekend. Trent came off. Massive game at the weekend. I'm pretty sure if he had the options, McAllister wouldn't have stayed on the pitch for 90. But we have no other forward options, so McAllister kind of has to stay there at the minute.
You're so good today, McAllister, as well.
Oh, brilliant! But it's down to the fact that imagine today we leave players on, we leave Nunes on to try and get that second, and then all of a sudden he gets clattered into by Luke Haber, and then he's out for the weekend, and we have no striker for the weekend. Then we're all sitting there going, why didn't he take him off? The game was done. I like this.
Yeah, you're going for the worst case scenario.
Yeah, no, do you know what? I don't think it's about the worst case scenario, Sam. Firstly, look, I know you want to defend Klopp. Klopp's a legend of your club, but your new manager that you would slot out the day that he signed has just completed a record that, no disrespect, not even Paisley and Shankly ever did. And that's no disrespect to anyone in your history. I think people praising the way you're playing is absolutely warranted. But equally, the keeper did make some great saves, and it left it at 1-0. However, you still have to game manage at times. Although you do want that second and that third, and you don't want to take the risks in games, this is where football seasons are the chess match. There are times where your manager will rotate in a game where you as a fan don't want him to because you want the 3 points, but he knows what he's got coming up. There are times where you might not have that insurance policy in a game, but he's still got to rotate because you've got so much football coming up. And although we get a break as fans from the Premier League, none of the fucking players do. They go into international football and keep playing. Like, the amount of games these players are going to play this year is crazy. And there are times where all of our clubs and all of our managers have to go, it's not quite the scoreline we wanted because that fucking goalkeeper's gone and pulled off 3 or 4 great saves. But I've still got to make those changes because I have to think about the bigger picture. So I get where you're coming from. I think sometimes as football fans, we get so focused on the individual game, we're not thinking. The manager can't just think about that game. He has to think about others at the same time when it comes to squad rotations, substitutions, etc. I remember there were times where your manager kept players on too long in Champions League games or started them when you guys didn't think you needed to. Jota did it once and then got injured and everybody was getting mad that he was out for 3 months. And again, I remember that because I cover every single Liverpool game. So I'll be honest with you, Sam, you're a lovely bloke, but I think you're being negative for negative sake because you're a bit embarrassed because Slots made you look silly. I'm just saying.
First of all, as soon as like literally 2 weeks into this thing, I said, listen, I'm backing Arne Slot. So that was just an emotional reaction. We've already explained it 100 times. That was an emotional reaction at the time because I wanted Xabi Alonso and he said no, and then Amarim said no. Then this random guy came here and like, who the hell is this?
Caicedo said no, Lavi. You've been rejected a lot, bruv, innit?
Yeah, we have been rejected a lot. So yeah, that's why
you told us on social media you were getting married like a year ago. I still see no ring. Man's getting rejected everywhere. It's crazy.
No woman in Jordan will reject me. Don't worry about that. That's fine. I'm good.
You know, it's very specified just Jordan, though. He ain't too confident outside of the perimeter.
Depends where.
I'm only joking. We're going to come back to Liverpool in a minute. Another big victory for City tonight. You surpassed Man United's long-standing record of 26 games unbeaten in the Champions League. But Haaland scored 2 more goals. He legitimately is the greatest goal scorer we've ever seen in terms of goals per game in the Champions League so far in his career. The kid's a bit of a freak, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an absolute phenomenon. Generational, some might say. Listen, I don't know if it's coming up on the camera, but I've got some platinums in the beard. I grew up during the Wu-Tang, and that goal that he scored reminded me of kung fu, old school, defying gravity, the way he was able to control his body and get that goal. I'm amazed. And I've been spoiled, Terry, because before Haaland, we had Aguero, and Aguero was scoring at an oppressive tilt as well. He was amazing in his own way. And to have Haaland do it Also, obviously, the lineage with his father and that whole connection, it's special for us. I think we gotta appreciate it. Even rivals, come on, like find another target over at Manchester City to crap on and hate on. What Haaland's doing is absolutely phenomenal. All of you at the other clubs are looking to find that striker, find that killer up front. And I just want to put this conversation to bed. This Harry Kane would have done it over at City, or you guys would be better off at Harry Kane. Humbly, there's no Spurs fan on the panel right now. I don't think Harry Kane's a winner. I don't think that he exudes that energy, that focal point that you need in someone that's just ruthless. Haaland is that guy. So let Kane do what he's trying to do. He's making my man Vincent Kompany look poor over at Bayern Munich, but Harry Kane over at City, it would not have been the treble run. It would not have been the four-peat. And definitely this goal every game in Champions League. Obviously, Kane's not doing it. Haaland's that guy. I also want to give some praise to Núñez, because we have a fan base that have been spoiled with a lot of winning, spoiled with a lot of great players, and not really giving the patience to some that have come to the club. And I get there was like some hard feelings after Calvin Phillips and not really hitting the ground running, and to lose Gundogan and replace him with Kovacic and then Núñez, and to think that they're going to keep things at the same level. It was unfair. But Pep is going to figure him out. And Pep got a tune out of him today. Pep was able to get him. I know he's playing out on the wing, but for him to gain some confidence, deliver some assists, get onto a goal. Listen, we don't look good. Liverpool top of the league. Tom reminded you of the number of games that you've won, one loss. I'm not saying it, but we haven't lost. So we're looking good as well, as poor as we're playing. We're looking good, getting the results, as poor as we've been playing. So I'm confident with what we do with the upcoming fixtures. We don't have a hard run like Liverpool right now. We're not having quite the injury crisis like Arsenal, but we get these results. And I don't know if it's noticed, but we were able to, despite suffering a draw in this whole thing, Champions League format, we have the best goal differential, and that's going to be key, I think, with the whole rankings when it comes down to resorting things. So I'm happy with the win. I'm happy with the game.
Do you have any tough games coming up? I know you played the Inter. Have you got any sort of tough ones coming up? Because I know you've had them, but I've seen a lot of the other big teams play each other and don't seem to have seen City do that. Who else are you guys playing? Do you know?
Tottenham.
Well, Tottenham's going to be in the
League?
League Cup, not in Champions League. In
Fucking
Champions
hell,
League,
Ram! Oh my
In
god,
general.
Tottenham. What?
in general. No, I think, well, the tough ones we're going to have is going to be Inter. We're going to have Juventus. I think it's Juventus away. Those are the two tough ones to come to mind.
Okay. No, listen, you guys are just excellent tonight, and Haaland's just freak. I was going to come to Ram next, but after your stupid Tottenham comment, I'm going to go to Sam to begin. Tottenham! Sorry, it's made me tickle me so much. Sam, talk to me about your team tonight.
To be fair, I haven't really come on the terrace since, so you don't really know about my general thoughts about Liverpool in general this season.
True, bro, true.
So I had some strong comments that I didn't think that we are going to win the Premier League or Champions League. Actually, no, let me leave the Champions League alone because that's a cup competition. But the Premier League in 3 or 4 seasons, because I did not trust FSG at all. My feelings became heightened with it when we didn't buy anyone except Chiesa, and I'm not going to butcher his name, but the goalkeeper that we sent out on loan. I was very angry by that, but Slot, I have to give it to Michael Edwards and the team of getting Slot. Hasn't really changed too much. We have become a little bit more conservative. You can see that with our defensive performances. And literally, we've only conceded 5 goals in all competitions now? 4 or 5 goals in all competitions? That's actually quite mad. For me personally, this game, it was most of the games that I've seen of Liverpool is professional. A professional job has been done. That's it. Go get the 3 points. Go get the win. It's been done. The Nottingham Forest game was, for me, a one-off, but I am looking at this Arsenal game and I'm a little bit worried. The reason why I'm a little bit worried about the Arsenal game, Just give me 1 second, Vita. When you hear my explanation for this, you're gonna agree with me. Because of the amount of players that they've got injured, I'm very scared that Mikel Arteta is going to go super defensive. He's going to park the bus. Now, for me, when we played Nottingham Forest, there was some worry there that we ran out of ideas. So and Arsenal are better defensively than Nottingham Forest. So that's the only thing I'm just looking at. That's why I said I'm a little bit worried about Arsenal. Yeah. But generally, like Gravenberch, I cannot. I at least watch at least 2 comps of him every day. The improvement that he has made with Slot has made with Gravenberch, and we got that over a rejection of Zubimendi. Like, it was a blessing in disguise. However, I still think we need to go and get a CDM in January, because once Gravenberch and McAllister is gone, I know we've got Curtis Jones. We don't really have that much squad depth for them if they're injured. But flipping hell, Konate's ball playing skills has improved. Gakpo has improved as well. He's carrying on the form from the Euros. But generally, I just see this team as very balanced. We are very balanced. We're getting the job done. We're making games very professional. We're coming out with the win, coming out with the 3 points. The one thing I do have a gripe with is that, and this is a lot with rival fans, but it's also the media as well. Now, we've come into the season with Slot, and people have said, oh, Liverpool might even finish outside the top 4. We don't know. Downfall for Liverpool, this, that, and the other. Now we've gone on this kind of like winning run. I know we lost to Nottingham Forest, but now we haven't played any good teams yet. Now we play Chelsea, it's more of like, oh, it's the new manager bounce. So every time we keep on breaking down a narrative, the goalpost keeps on changing. It keeps on changing and it keeps on changing. I'm going to just say to Liverpool fans, just take it one game at a time. Don't listen to the noise around. We are a very good team. All we just need to do is focus on ourselves. The next game is Arsenal. Again, I did say I'm a little bit worried because Arsenal's injuries, I can't lie to you. I know Mikel Arteta will just
you know what, bro? I get where you're coming from. V's shaking his head like this, but it's one of those games that you need your club to be careful about, because it's one of those games like the FA Cup final where everybody says, City win, easy.
We're hungover.
And then the football gods do a little something, right? If Liverpool go into this game saying, do you know what? I still make you the marginal favourite, but it doesn't mean you go in with complacency. If you
marginal favourites.
Marginal favourites, Liverpool are, yes. Going into
Vader, I've heard you before say you're underdogs to clubs that are 10 times worse than Arsenal. So don't come up here and tell us how to feel about our club. We're going to the Emirates. If you were in our position, you'd say the same shit. You'd play the underdog card. So stop it.
I'm not playing.
Number 2.
Okay, you're playing a card.
Number 2, Vader. This is the Emirates. Okay, it's away at the title.
Your side chicks. You used to call them.
If this game was at Anfield, I'd say we're gonna slap them 5-0. But it's not. Okay, it's at not 5-0. Obviously, I'm exaggerating a bit. I'd say we'd win the game 2-0, whatever. But because it's at the Emirates, you can't just push aside and go like Arsenal are crap. We're gonna destroy them. That's not how football works. Yes, they have a couple of players out, but we have Alisson out, possibly Jota out as well. So it's not like, oh, it's just we're going to go over there and going to destroy them. I want us to win. I think we can win. But if offered the draw right now, or if you tell me the game ends 0-0, I'm not going to sit up here and go like, oh, wow, we're crap. We drew to Arsenal away. I don't mind. Like, a draw away at your title rival is a good result.
Well, and you know,
don't get me wrong. I think.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, mate. Go on, Sam.
I said, don't get me wrong. I think we can win. But it's just that we know Mikel Arteta. You played against Arsenal. You know how defensive they can be. And one of the problems that we had this season when we ran into Nottingham Forest is that we played against a defensive team and we ran out of ideas. So that's just a little worry that I have. But I still think we can win.
I think on top of that as well, which I think is a good... You've already pulled on it, Sam, that people keep moving the goalposts on Liverpool this season. As soon as you do lose another game, especially if it gets against a bigger, better team, that will be the confirmation bias everybody needs to go, see, told you they weren't that good. Even if that's just 2 defeats in the first 20 games you play this season, it's going to be that told you. And I think you, as a fan base and as players and a manager, you got to kind of rise above that. This here from Sean, he says, nothing to complain about, Husam. You gave it a go, fam.
If I say we went defensive too early and you're thinking that that's me complaining, then you haven't heard complaining before in your life. By the way, Tom Little, Simicast 1 man in the match. Hold that. Don't ever disrespect the Krieg Scouser ever again in your whole life. Hold.
We need eye drops to watch Soberslide. It really hurts. Is it? Omar
just on
here.
that super chat. I was gonna say just on that super chat. I want to see McAllister in a 10, Gravenberch and Curtis Jones as the midfield on against Arsenal on Sunday. Personally, for me,
he might do it. We'll see. Am I crazy to say that Kelleher might be the next Martinez? He's just waiting for that club to give him a chance. Chelsea, please bring him.
That's not crazy. Kelleher is a fantastic goalkeeper. I think the only second choice. Yeah, I think the only 100%. I think the only second choice goalkeeper in the league that's comparable, in my opinion, is Ortega. Those are the 2 best, I'd say, in the league.
Of course, Chelsea they want him as well, considering how many times he beat them in cup finals.
Like, clubs are giving us 10 million, 15. Like, they're not valuing the way that we value him. It shows why. He's
Chelsea
very,
50 million and you can take him.
Yeah, but okay, even on just that point though, you say that, but we don't value him like that either. Because the reality is we just went out, not even that. We just went to go sign another goalkeeper. So
yeah,
so to say that we value, no, we don't value him like that, because if we did, we wouldn't have signed another goalkeeper. We would have just kept him there because we signed that goalkeeper to battle the first choice keeper. We value him as a second choice, clear as day. We don't value like a Mamadashvili as like a second choice keeper come in and we look at him a bit different.
For a team like a Forest or a Brentford or anyone like that, like, I'm sorry, giving £15 million for someone that is of his quality, homegrown as well, which is also a large commodity. Paying £15 million for someone like him is absolutely ridiculous.
Did he start for Ireland as well? He must be Ireland's number one.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. No disrespect to Ireland, love the country, but I can't imagine they have a better goalkeeper.
I think he's been threatened by his coach.
It's him and Bazuna, no?
But Bazuna doesn't even play for Southampton. There's no chance he plays for Ireland anymore.
Before he's been threatened to get some starting games because he's not going to play it. That's why. So yeah.
Terry Tibbs here says, you've always been consistent, mate. That's to me. Oh, bless you. He says, I've been watching you since I remember the Blood Brother days. That was a great channel. That was a great show. One thing you've always done is admit when you are wrong. Yeah, most of the time. You just got to do it, innit? I'm a man. No, Terry. Oh, you are Liverpool. That's not City. Oh, sorry. That's the Indian cricket team that won the T20 World Cup.
That's always confused me as well. Yeah,
I thought
that's confused me as well.
Champions, and I just assumed it was City. Big up yourself. Big up India. Haaland's strength isn't in the box poaching. It's using his strength and speed. Also, almost never in an offside position. His finishing is amazing. He's the reason we play so much as a fox in the box is because of Pep's system. The reason he plays so much in that.
Yeah, and I'd like to add to it. I mean, it doesn't get talked about, but he's very intelligent. His positional play is very intelligent. He's constantly moving, making center backs wonder where he is. Yeah, he's phenomenal.
So do you know who Simicast looks like there? Because it's blurry. He looks like Lucy Bronze.
Hold, Tom. Tom,
you're running this like I'm actually bothered. I know he's not starting against Arsenal on the weekend, which is the good thing.
Hey, if he does start, then I know the corners won't hit first man.
Yeah, but do you know what, Husam? Andy Robertson's never conceded a goal to Bukayo Saka. Simicast has conceded 4.
Yeah, listen, go ahead. Start Robertson.
I'd rather my left back could defend.
Nunez is a DM according to what is this, Tom?
Right.
Oh, so you should have seen this guy's shamelessness.
I said if he
called Nunez Andrea Pirlo.
No, that's completely out of context. I said that he had an Andrea Pirlo moment when he made the tackle and then played the long ball, but that was out of context.
Oh my goodness!
I said you could Joe Lintonify Nunez if it came down to
it. It was you that said that.
Can we stop with this?
I said you could.
Can we stop with the whole Joe Linton fight? Can we? No.
I think you
It
could.
worked once in like
Essentially,
2
Terry, let me give you the context because this guy's a liar. He said he wants Nunes to play in the 8, and he said he could be some of his passes is like Andrea Pirlo. Like he thinks Nunes can be a deep lying playmaker.
Hang on, we are talking Darwin Nunes here, yeah? Noodles.
Yes, yes, that's
Tom,
who.
What's he gonna do when he gets
Terrible.
pressed?
Use his strength. You turn out of it
Do
like
you
that.
remember Man United last season?
Hold that, Tom.
Yeah, but everyone says this. I watched a 2-minute 20 passing comp the other day, and it was actually quite good.
Oh my god! We're not doing comp. Oh my god!
Ram, we've heard a lot about the game tonight. How are you feeling ahead of the game against Arsenal?
Weird one, isn't it? Because we've got a pretty meaty record at Emirates. Arsenal seem like they're going to be the underdogs because they're apparently not going to be having about 7 or 8 starting players in their team. But it's still going to be a tough game. I don't see us doing anything differently. I think we're going to be quite resolute as well. But it's my main worry is not about the way Arsenal are going to play. I feel as though they're going to be physically up for it in the sense of they're going to just be incredibly aggressive to our players and possibly might even hurt some of our players as well. I have a bad feeling it might be Luis Diaz as well. I don't know why, but it's just that reason. But I think it's going to be a very scrappy game on Sunday. I do fancy us to get something from that game, given the circumstances that both teams are in and the way that both teams are playing. But look, going up against the title rival away from home is always going to be a tough game. And I'm not going to be sitting here saying that we're strong contenders or we're strong favourites to win this game. Arsenal's Arsenal. They still play some decent football. They're still very, very hard to break down, and they've shown it this season that they can really cause a lot of problems for big teams.
Sorry. Are you concerned with them with their attack, or are you concerned that you won't be able to break them down?
A bit of both. They're still very dangerous on the attack. They still got
Where are the threats coming from in their attack? Where are the threats coming from?
I mean, they got Leandro Trossard, who loves to score against
Martinelli.
Let's not forget their version of Jota likes to score against us, like how Jota loves to score against them. Like that's how it's always been.
Ram,
even when he's at Brighton, he does that.
Ram, I will say this. With the team that Arsenal have got now, with the injuries and the suspensions that they got, if they try to come out and play against us, that will be the worst thing that they will ever do.
But
my worry is that they're going to sit back.
On the counter?
Say again?
If we have to play against them and they play on the counter, which suits like Martinelli and players like that,
yeah, then I agree with you.
You know, it's a difficult one to predict. Who knows? Maybe
Martinelli versus Trent.
Play there, we might play some good stuff and we might pass them around the pitch and they get bamboozled by it. We don't know, but I still fancy us to really put in a good performance and cause a bit of problems for Arsenal because we
Martinelli versus Trent, and you got Havertz versus Konate and Van Dijk, and I'm okay. All right.
So what, V? Because we're probably not going to see you between now and that game. What are you predicting as the score in that game yourself?
If the bodies that have dropped for Arsenal are still out of this game, I see Liverpool winning this a comfortable 2-1. Comfortable.
2-1.
So you did all of that to just say 2-1 at the end. You did all this extra stuff, and every time Ram spoke, you leaned back like that Fat Joe song and all that. Like you just sat there,
because he's talking like,
and you're so upset. And then your prediction is 2-1. That's it.
We're still
no. 2-1.
Stop a minute.
I would never come here and say you guys are going to smash them at the Emirates.
Stop a minute. You are scoffing at the idea of marginal favourites, but your prediction is a narrow 2-1 win.
No, I didn't say narrow. I said comfortable. So they could score a late. They could score a late one to make it. But you guys would. Liverpool should win it.
I'll concede that you said comfortable and not marginal, but winning 2-1 when it comes to it, for me is still it's a variation of marginal favourite.
No, 2-1. Terry, could easily be a 3-1, but I wanted to because I heard all this marginal favourites. I heard all of this. It's still the Emirates, so I was like, I take that into account rather than a 3-1, 2-1. But you guys are. I see them comfortably winning this game. because of the players that are missing
Okay,
and
so
the
like
leaders that are missing.
So like 2-0 to Liverpool with like a late consolation goal for Arsenal type thing.
Yeah, maybe a late set piece.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense. And Terry is so petty. No, I need to hang on. Disclaimer time. It's called a joke. It's called a joke, my friend. Like it's mad how YouTube's getting now. And do you know what I put this down to? Genuinely, right? You know, I don't know about Ram might have just missed out on this. The generations that came after mine at school, they were told they weren't allowed to make jokes. They couldn't rip the shit out of each other. And now that generation's on social media and it's like they don't hear jokes. It's like they haven't formed that part of their brain yet. Genuinely, they're not formed that part of their brain. The only time they get it is when people are being really nasty to each other. They find that funny. And I'm sort of like, no, that's not good to laugh at. It's not a joke. But anyway, that's me. Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. Oh, sorry, I got a super chat here. It says, always nice with a decent win. My issue tonight is too many sloppy passes. Been a long time since we saw Trent basically miss every forward going pass.
There's a point. There's a small point. As in, like, if we're not as wasteful in the possession, we could be scoring 3 or 4 goals every game. But we're not that
this video, Husam, this stream, where are we referring it to? Is it Al-Hawa?
El Ahwa.
El Ahwa.
Yes,
Ahwa.
yes. Well done.
Go
Terry.
check it. Yes, brother.
Why is there only the Liverpool score at the bottom of the screen?
Because
no one cares about you. No one cares about City.
Here's the bias, Terry. Here's the biasness that they keep.
Give it a rest.
No,
man.
listen. Here's the biasness that the viewers tend to put on Terry. I'm just helping him out, like, you know.
Because I'll be honest with you, I was sitting here and it got to 1 minute to go before I went live and I forgot to make any overlay and there wasn't the time to make the one with 2 on it, so I had to make the one with just 1. So yeah,
No worries.
You man are petty, man. You City fans are petty,
No,
bro.
I'm helping you out, Terry. I'm just, in case of the chat, they want to go after you.
You're bringing things to people's attention. That's what we in London we call that. Don't be so bait, bruv. You're being bait.
I baited you out. I baited you out.
What car have you got? The car looks very nice, by the way. The car looks very nice.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you very much.
What is that? A Lincoln?
No, it's a Volvo.
Vote. Oh. Is that like not? Is that not like? Oh no, I was about to say, is it not sacrilegious to buy cars like that when you're in America? I forgot you're Canadian. You're not American, so yeah, it's fine to drive that, isn't it?
No, it's like it's an SUV. It's XC90. It's like
nice. That looks nice. I like the color. I like the color, bro. Right, listen. Go over to Husam's channel for El Hawa now. They are going live. Until next time, everybody, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. Peace.